Hello and welcome everyone to our FME platform session. My name is Carol Gilmartin and I am the Strategic Alliance Executive with SafeSoftware. And joining me today is Sanai Mendoza, my associate, who is also an FME Technical Support Specialist with our company.
Hi everyone, excited to be here.
Thank you. And today we plan to cover a brief overview of SafeSoftware, our FME platform, a few scenarios on Cityworks, along with a demo that Sanaya is going to illustrate. And of course, resources and support that you can leverage. So SafeSoftware was founded over 26 years ago, solving data challenges while being the de facto standard in spatial data transformation. And since this time, we've evolved to become a data and application integration company for the enterprise. Today, our data integration platform is the global leader in spatial data transformation. It enables over 10,000 organizations to solve complex data challenges by leveraging our no-code integration platform. We're based out of Vancouver, BC, Canada, and we're quickly approaching 200 employees and growing. We collaborate with our world-class partner ecosystem to provide consulting, training, and implementation services, providing tremendous value to our mutual clients. So our integration platform enables clients to connect, transform, and automate their data. FME Desktop provides the ability to not only conduct the data conversion, but it enables our clients to prepare and blend data together as well, while manipulating attributes and geometric conversions during the process. Our second product, our FME Server product, allows you to publish your workspace that you've previously built in the FME Desktop product to the server environment for automations and integrations. This is where we would tie systems together and leverage APIs and trigger webhooks to push data in and out of the Cityworks system. Our third product is FME Cloud, which is essentially FME Server product running in the AWS environment. So some of the common data challenges our companies face are data silos are scattered throughout every department within every organization, and often the data is stored in unusable formats that need to be transformed. While organizations spend a lot of money on building their data sets and integrations, the data is only as valuable as it is used, and this is where FME can really help. So the solution. So again, data integration tools such as FME help organizations refine their data into a valuable resource. This allows decision makers to integrate and exchange data between systems, automate complex repetitive tasks, bring valuable insights, and share data more freely. This is really all about data integration, and as described above by Gartner, which is a good segue into the next slide. SafeSoftware has been recognized in the Gartner Peer Insights Voice of the Customer, rated at 4.9. We are listed on the upper left-hand side of the quadrant, and very excited for us this year to be a part of this. So FME and Cityworks. We provide no-code integration, allowing Cityworks and FME to work in harmony to provide bidirectional data exchange between business systems, and FME is definitely the conduit to accomplish this. We have integrated financial systems, HR systems, other PLL and asset management systems and applications into the Cityworks environment, and oftentimes these are requests coming directly from our clients to help them improve their operational efficiencies. This slide really illustrates the evolution of our format reach from the early beginning of time when we started taking CAD drawings and converting them into GIS systems. We've really mastered the complexities with spatial data transformation. And as a result, we have naturally expanded to provide data and application integration for the enterprise. So at this juncture, I'm going to pass it over to Sanai, and she's going to provide the demo and provide a few Cityworks and FME scenarios.
Awesome. Thanks, Carol. We can use the FME platform and the Cityworks platform to help maintain and manage our workflows and data across applications. So we're going to use the combination of FME to connect and transform and automate your data processes with Cityworks GIS-centric asset management system to build these integrated workflows tailored exactly to your needs. So I'm going to highlight a couple examples before diving into a demo. So this is a workflow that's built on top of an FME server automation. The customer's employee databases are synchronized on a nightly schedule. So one of the databases might be in a cloud or hosted on a remote server, and the other was, say, in SQL Server or Postgres. We can connect directly to both of these databases from FME and perform complex database level interactions such as updates, inserts, change detection, deletions, all from FME Workbench. This workflow showcases another automation that processes service requests. So electric meter reports were periodically uploaded to a user's local directory. And upon this upload or the update of the file, this would trigger an automation in FME Server to extract the updated or new data, transform it, and use it to create a service request in Cityworks. And for every new service request, the manager would receive a notification with the details of that electric meter report. With this demo, I'm going to use both desktop and server platforms to show how we can use FME to integrate your data and Cityworks with other applications to create these dynamic and responsive workflows. So this demo is based on the idea that a city has a mobile application that lets citizens send in a report about a concerning or dangerous tree. The city wants to take this information and share it across 3 platforms. So the Survey123 app will host the data on Esri's ArcGIS Online. An inspection must be created in Cityworks for the maintenance staff. And lastly, management would like to visualize all of this data using the business intelligence tool, Click. Manually entering the survey data into each application could be tedious. Building that custom code to handle it may be expensive or difficult to maintain. But the FME platform allows us to synchronize the data across each application and automate the entire process. In the end, we're going to have a hands-off, start-to-finish workflow for processing and analyzing these requests as they come in. So let's jump right in. Here we have all of our tree hazard reports visualized in Click. And as of right now, we have 31 tree hazard reports on the dashboard. But let's circle back to the beginning of the workflow. That'll be at our Survey123 app. Say we're at the park and we notice a branch hanging over some power lines. We can use the city's mobile application to submit the location of the tree, its level of hazard, any comments, a photo, and our contact information. So let's do that right now. And now we can follow this report as it flows through each application and eventually reaches that dashboard. But how do we connect this Survey123 application to Cityworks? Well, we can use FME to connect to the Survey123 webhook. And here in the settings, we can use this webhook URL to connect to our FME server automation. And anytime a survey is submitted, it will send a post request with the message about that request to our FME server automation. So let's head over there. And this is the automation that connects these applications and workspaces together. FME server automations have triggers that can initiate workflows from an event. So this one in particular begins with that webhook trigger that's connected to the Survey123 through this URL here. And when it's initiated, the report is passed into a workspace, which processes the data for its downstream applications. And as we can see, this automation is running already. So that means it's already listening for any data that's coming in. And since we submitted a report in Survey123, we can see what it looks like as it comes in from the logger. So this is the survey webhook message sent in JSON. And from taking a look at that, we know now we're going to need to parse this in our workspace to extract all of that report information so that it's useful in Cityworks. So let's head over to our workbench for doing just that. So this is our workspace in FME Workbench for ingesting and transforming the Survey123 webhook message. It might look a little bit intimidating at first if you've never worked with FME before, but it's really just divided into a few major sections. First, we can parse and format that webhook message. We can make a join to another database, bring in any relevant information we need. We can send the final request to Cityworks as an inspection. And lastly, we want the inspection details to be sent to downstream applications. We can zoom in and take a closer look at some of these components. So as we remember, the webhook message was sent in JSON, and here it is here in our workbench as it's read in. We can parse these key value pairs into attributes using the JSON flattener transformer. And after we do that, we'll have each of those key value pairs as attributes that we can work with and transform however we need to. We can use the datetime converter to transform the Esri timestamp into a format that's going to be readable by the Cityworks database. Lastly, we can take the XY coordinates from the tree's location that we selected in the Survey 123 app. We can geocode them so that it has a serviceable address. And inside of this geocoder transformer, I've connected to the ArcGIS Online geocoding service, but there's many others that you can choose from, and some of them are free. And in the end, we'll have an address to whatever location that tree was submitted from. Let's say a different department or maintenance crew is responsible for maintaining the trees inside of city parks. We can use a spatial filter transformer to compare the point to park polygons. And the parks polygons table is stored inside of a Postgres database. And we can see them here on our visual preview window. We can easily read in this table into our workbench with a reader specifically set up for Postgres database and a stored database connection. This is using Postgres, but we could use many different types of databases or file stores or local directories if need be, lots of different data formats, and bring that directly into our workspace. Any of the points or trees that fall within these polygons, they'll be assigned to the Parks Department in Cityworks. So now we need to send this inspection request to Cityworks, and we have the inspection creator transformer to do just that. This is an example of one of our custom transformers that we've built here at Safe for Cityworks workflows. It's designed to intake any required parameters for submitting an inspection, and as well as any additional information. So in this case, I've set it up to submit a tree risk inspection, which is this ID number. I'm also going to send all of my comments, the reporter information, and location information as additional request parameters down here at the bottom. This transformer is going to take these parameters and send them inside of a miniature workflow that's packaged up inside, and I have that open in this tab here. And the key transformer to look at here, the one that's doing all of the heavy lifting, is the HTTP caller. This is our transformer for building API requests. So if I open it up, you can see that we've built a dynamic request that posts to the Cityworks inspection endpoint here. We have variables for my instance name. We also have variables for all of the data we're sending, and we're connecting to Cityworks for each call using a stored web connection. Web connections allow us to store our authentication information for different web services. We can reuse them. We can update them, share them, limit access to them as needed. So for example, here I would enter in my, my Cityworks URL, my username and password, and authenticate, and I'd immediately be connected. But you can see that we have lots of different web services that I've connected to in the past. So for some examples might be Google, QuickBooks, Autodesk, Esri ArcGIS Online, Dropbox, and I can reuse these in all of my workflows without having to authenticate for each call. We have a wide selection shipped with FME, as well as templates for creating and sharing your own custom connections. So once this inspection is created, it will return a response containing information about that newly created inspection. And it's in JSON, just like our webhook message. And we can easily parse that into attributes, again, using our JSON transformer. So I've just taken the relevant information, its ID and status. And with our new inspection record, we're going to want to do a few things. So first, I'd like to send the report to a CSV so that it can be read by Click. And before I do that, I use a geometry extractor to assign it some geometry that Click can read. And then I'm going to send it to a CSV using the dedicated CSV writer. Next, any images that were submitted with the survey, they're passed to a second workspace. So I'll test for images and then pass it on to a second workspace so that it can be attached to the Cityworks inspection. And then lastly, I'm going to use a report generator transformer to build an HTML report so that an email notification can be sent to the original report submitter with all of the relevant information about their inspection. And both of these bottom processes here, the images and emails, those are passing their results to an automations writer inside of our automation so that they can be used in the next steps of our automation. And I'll show you what that looks like back in FME Server. So back in our automation, our workspace here, it has a port for each of those workspace outputs that we just reviewed. So we have our notification email with a port, and it's passing that HTML body right there in the action parameters. And then we have our attachment that's passed to a second workspace as well as the image. And then we have a CSV file that's sent directly to Dropbox so that Click can pick it up for processing. So we have a task configured in Click to pull and read in updates from the CSV in this folder, and we can see that it was only updated just recently as we submitted our newest tree report. And this data is then visualized in the Click dashboard, and we can see here that our dashboard has one more report than we started off with at the beginning of the demo. And if I zoom in, this was the report that we just submitted, and here it is on the table. And lastly, we can check our email for the notification, and we can see that we've received our confirmation email here with the details of our inspection. And if I copy this inspection ID, I can go to Cityworks, search for it, and here is our tree risk inspection report that we've sent from FME. And if I check the details, we can view the record in Cityworks. And we can see that our second workspace successfully attached the image to the inspection. So let's review some of the tools that we used to make this workflow happen. So FME Server can use different triggers and schedules to initiate workflows. Here we used a webhook trigger to kick off every time a new survey is submitted. The Cityworks REST API and FME are a perfect match, and we used the pre-built custom transformers to perform routine operations like the inspection creator. We can also build our own custom requests with the HTTP caller. We can also make use of different readers, writers, and transformers to enrich and transfer our data, introduce more data sources so that our end product is more useful for all of our stakeholders. And lastly, we used database and web connections to instantly connect to different applications and services from within our workflow. This completes the demo, but theoretically we could continue on with this tree hazard report as it travels through different systems. Cityworks has its own webhook that we can utilize with FME Server automations. And in this case, we could use that to track the status of the tree hazard report. We could create new work orders. We could do lots of other processes. This is just a small example of how we're able to use FME to connect Cityworks and other applications using different protocols and transforming the data along the way. And with that, I'm going to pass it back to you, Carol.
Excellent. Thank you so much. That was a really awesome demonstration of how we can work in harmony and bring integrate other applications into the environment. So that's awesome. Thank you.
Thanks.
And no, thank you. That was great. In addition to that, we have about 50 plus mutual clients. And today I'm just going to quickly speak about a couple of use cases that we wanted to bring up in this session. So right here, where our headquarters are located in the suburb of Vancouver, the City of Surrey has implemented the FME platform to improve data workflows between systems for their water meter process improvement project. And ultimately, the results were improve automations between systems, replaces cumbersome stored procedures and nightly data synchronization of jobs, and really improves the operational efficiency, saves the city time and money. And the next one that we have is the City of Omaha, and they were one of our first mutual clients, so we're happy to talk about their use case today. And it really represents a project with the city to replace a series of manual processes by automating Cityworks tasks for service requests. So as a result, the clerks now enter the service agreement only once and are notified by email when the workflow is completed. So this dramatically reduces their data entry requirements and manual coordination between departments. And lastly, we wanted to just provide you with a bunch of resources. Our philosophy at SafeSoftware is definitely knowledge transfer, which lends ourselves to providing free training and free webinars. We record them so everyone could view them at their leisure. We also have a fantastic community with 10,000 global users, and it's really a great forum to share ideas, ask questions. Everybody participates, including SAFE, the public, and our partners, so it's a great way. In addition to that, we have, well, with our Knowledge Center, that's where our training and webinars live. We have on-demand resources, articles, tutorials, and the list goes on, so a really great resource there. And then following that is our FME Hub, which is a platform for our clients to be able to access transformers and connectors and templates that we've built, our clients have built, and our partners. So a lot of the Cityworks connectors for specific endpoints live in the FME Hub, which is great. And lastly, we provide fantastic customer service. We're always available to help and jump in and provide technical support. And you can do that in different ways. One of them is live chat if you want to have an instant reply during our business hours, of course. You can also contact myself and Sinai, but also submit a technical support case and someone will get back to you in a reasonable amount of time for sure. And then our last slide represents the one before Sinai, is the resources and links, which is great. So using Cityworks with REST API specific, we have tutorials and training in relation to that. The content on the web, on the FME Hub, as I mentioned, can all be accessed there. We had additional resources. We provided training classes, instructor-led, later, the last part of last year in December and also in January, we delivered it to our partner community. And a plethora of videos and webinars, and of course, more demos are available to you here as well. And on that note, we want to thank you very, very much for your time today. Both Sinai and I are very appreciative of that, and we hope that you found our presentation today informative. So thank you very much.